Before you buy a brand new home in Metro Verde or Red Hawk, here is the resale trap that could cost you thousands of dollars down the road. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so anytime that I post a new video, you get notified about it, because you know that all I'm doing is giving you guys all the information about Las Cruces to make better decisions whenever you go to move here. Let's get started.
Yeah, it's Kacie in the LC. Keys to the dream, come and ride with me. Homes, views, life where you wanna be. Las Cruces, living Kacie in the LC. Kacie in the LC. Kacie in the LC, yeah. Kacie in the LC, yeah. Kacie in the LC. Las Cruces.
The number one question I get asked is, where should I go? I've heard Red Hawk is great. I heard the Metro Verde is amazing. Let's try to move there. There's lots of new construction. We love new construction, but this is the same conversation that I have with all of my clients, and I figured it was time that I share it with a broader audience so you guys can actually know the truth about purchasing in a brand new development. I am all for new construction. I love new construction. I think that there are so many great benefits to purchasing a new construction home, but long-term, there could be some massive negative implications and negative hit to your wallet if you're not careful and think fully about the big picture. Whenever you're deciding to move to a house and purchase a house, there are a few things that you should think about. One is resale. Can I resell this in the time frame that I know I'm going to stay in the house for a profit, or at least to break even? Two is the actual time frame. Are you gonna purchase the house and move in it and live in it for 3 to 5 years? Are you planning, is this your forever house? Is this like a 10-year plan? How long do you plan on living there? And you may not know exacts, but you definitely have a rough idea of how long you're gonna move there. And if it's like, don't know, I have absolutely no clue, I could get a job tomorrow and I have to sell it again. I think those type things are definitely things to take into consideration. What does the market look like in your area, and who are you competing against? I have just recently had this conversation with several military buyers. That's what kind of brought on me wanting to do this video and talk to you guys about it, because military is typically only in town for anywhere from 3 to 5 years, and then they're gonna get PCS to somewhere else. And new construction is always very, very desirable. One is brand new. They don't have to worry about fixing it up while they're here. They can just enjoy their family, just work, and it's great. They're typically around a lot of other families in the new construction neighborhoods. We have a great diversity, but there's a lot of new families and then there's a lot of retirees, but they're only here for 3 to 5 years. With that, the new construction has been offering crazy incentives, and it makes the desirability to move into a new construction house so much more, right? Whenever we have builders giving anywhere from 4 to 6% of the sales price to you to buy down your interest rate, to use it for landscaping, to use it for different incentives on the home, then it is definitely very desirable. In some cases, they're getting, $20,000 to $25,000 to use to buy down the interest rate. And if you're a military personnel, you don't have to put anything down, but you can get your monthly mortgage so much lower, then you're gonna take it. Even if you're not military and you're just a civilian and you get the opportunity to put down or to take $25,000 from the builder to buy down your interest rate, why not, right? Like, it seems so desirable. But there is a huge catch to this, and I'm seeing my clients have to deal with this catch more and more, and I just think it's something that you guys should consider, because I will say selling new construction is easy. As a realtor, it's so easy, and I think that if the realtor is pushing you to purchase a new construction home and immediately taking you to the new construction and not talking about potential repercussions later down the road, I think that you should really have a talk with them and see what their reasoning is for pushing it, because truly it's easy, right? We go show new construction. The builder typically has their own contracts. They write it up. You don't really have to do any objections, because you just send them the punch list from a home inspection and they use that home inspection as a punch list and get everything done. There's no, argument and objections. It's easy. For the realtor, it's easy. A lot of builders say that their realtor is basically just bring them and then show up to closing, which is not what I do. And I think that when you're choosing a realtor, you should truly choose a realtor that knows what they're doing, that has your best interest at heart, and that is why I am having this conversation. When you are buying, or some of my clients, I guess, when they're purchasing in Metro Verde, what we are seeing, whether they're military or not, you are competing with several different builders. Several different builders are offering crazy incentives, which you cannot match as a resale homeowner. So they have full intentions to live in the house. Plans change. They may have to sell their house sooner than expected, especially on the civilian side. They don't live in the house for 3 years. I see a lot of homes go back up on the market after 2 to 3 years, especially with the military personnel. You might be here on a good note for 5 years. In the Metro Verde and the Red Hawk subdivision specifically, they have at least small numbers, at least 5 years of land to continue to develop. But long term, they have way more than that. But just up close on the subdivision around what's already built, they have 5 more years of land that they are developing and building on. Most people think, okay, like what's the big deal? But here is where it is, I think, vital for you guys to consider moving to Red Hawk or not. Whenever you know you are going to leave within 3 to 5 years and you are competing with the new construction, you are competing against those incentives that drew you into that neighborhood. If they've barely increased their prices over the last 3 to 5 years, typically it's about 2% per 6 months. So they might have increased their prices slowly throughout the years. So you might have some equity in your home at the end of 5 years, but it's not going to be a lot because you still have to pay realtor fees, you still have to pay closing fees, you still have to pay title insurance, taxes. Like there's a long list of fees that you have to pay. GRT, which is gross receipts tax here in New Mexico. So there's all these fees that you still have to pay when selling your house. And then on top of barely gaining equity, because it's not like 2020 when everybody gained $100,000 overnight. Long gone are those days. Like there are just a small amount of inflation every single year. So you're competing with the new construction. Say you bought your house for $350, then the new construction might in 5 years be worth $380. So you have maybe a $30,000 equity, but your house is 5 years old. Their house is a brand new construction. So for you to get $380 on yours, it's gonna have to be in pristine condition. So why would a buyer look at your house that is lived in, that has scuffs on the walls, where it has grout that may not be the cleanest, where it has all the mechanicals that are 5 years old, versus a new construction house that is a brand new house for the exact same price that you listed your house? More than likely, they are going to choose the new construction house, like I would say like 90% of the time. In addition to just those things, the new construction is also offering incentives. For the last 5 years, they have been offering incentives on homes. Well, I take that back. For the last like 2-3 years are offering incentives on homes because they're building and interest rates are high, and the only way that they can get them to sell is to offer incentives in the name of 3 to 6% towards closing costs. So you as a resale homeowner, not a huge entity that sells 100 homes a year, where they can just make small profit on every single home and it doesn't affect them whatsoever. But for you, like, this is everything. And so you're competing with them. You don't have that much equity to begin with. I mean, $30,000 in 5 years is actually amazing. We owned a home for 10 years and had zero equity. It wasn't until COVID that we actually had equity on our home because we bought high. It was like the 2008 when we bought high. So it took us 10 years to even build equity in our home. If we had sold it before COVID, we would have been in the negative. So just keep that in mind. What happened recently with the inflation is not normal. It was needed. A little bit of inflation was needed in our market. We were one of the last ones to actually inflate after 2008, but that's a whole different story and a whole different video to talk on. So you are competing with them. You have to come up with 3 to 6% just to be on even playing fields. Plus your home is older, plus the mechanicals like the AC, the furnace, the water heater, all of those are old. They're 5 years old. Your house has to be in pristine condition. Landscaping has to be on point. You have to be willing to do all the repairs and all the things on your home that new construction is going to do. So, I mean, it is just checkbox after checkbox against you versus working for you. So I say all this just to be mindful of where you purchase and how long it's going to take before you resell. If you know for a fact you are going to sell in 3 years, I do not suggest purchasing in a development, and this I think goes for any development in the entire United States, I don't suggest you purchase in a new construction development, a brand new development, especially if they're offering incentives to help buyers buy those homes, because you will continue to compete with them for 3 to 5 years or years to come, unless it's like literally the last house in the development and then they're moving across town. That's the only way that I think it's practical to purchase a home in a new construction area if you plan on reselling within 3 to 5 years. But if you plan on renting it out, like I know a lot of people, they're like, no, we're just gonna rent it out after. We're trying to build our doors, like build our portfolio. We're just gonna keep the house long-term and rent it out. Perfect, like do that. Doesn't really matter, because at that point, your mortgage is low, excellent. You can make more on rent. That is a great scenario. But if you're like, nope, I actually need that money in order to buy, like I don't have enough, like the lender is not gonna allow me to purchase another house without selling this house, you might be in a pickle. And I'm telling you, I have had many buyers, or excuse me, many sellers that go to buy in this pickle and they have to sell, but they can't because they're competing with new construction and they are in the negative, or they literally break even, and it sucks. And it is very, very hard for them to sell their house, or it sits on the market so much longer than it should because again, they are competing with new construction. So all this to say, I do love Red Hawk. I do love Metro Verde. I think that they are beautiful neighborhoods. The homes are absolutely gorgeous. But if you are not going to be here for an extended period of time, I'm talking like 10 years plus, then I would suggest looking in different neighborhoods just so you don't have to worry about competing with them later down the road. I hope this is helpful, and I hope all of that made sense to you. If you want to jump on an actual phone call and talk about this, I am happy, because I think that these are major considerations that you should think about when relocating, when purchasing, when buying a home. And no matter what, if you are, this is going to be a completely different video, like a longer video, but if you are only going to stay in the home for 3 to 5 years, like I would say actually anything less than 10 years, do not buy solar. Do not put solar on your home. Do not do it. Do not do it. I've had so many home sellers have equity in their home. Not a ton, but enough. And like here in Las Cruces, nobody's gonna buy your home and then take over your solar payment. They're not doing it. And so the sellers have to pay it, and they have to pay $30,000 out of their equity, which they don't have or they barely have, and it's costing them. And it's like money that they could have put in their pocket is going to the solar company that they were bamboozled by the salesperson saying that it would add equity and add value to your property. Well, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It just makes your home so much harder to sell. So all that being said, I hope this is helpful. If you do have questions, please reach out. All my contact information is below. Hit me up and let me know what other questions I can answer for you when considering relocating here. And again, I help lots of military personnel relocating individuals to the area. So if you have certain questions that you want answered, please hit me up. I am happy to do a video for you, because if you have the question, I guarantee you other people have the question. Have a great day. Kacie and the LC out.